What's up, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and welcome to another 2020 NBA Draft Prospect full game video breakdown. Today, we're taking a look at Marquette point guard Markus Howard. Markus Howard, obviously known around college basketball circles as one of the best scorers the game has seen in probably the last 10 to 15 years. This past season at Marquette, he averaged a whopping 27.8 points per game on 41.2% from three, which, given the shot selection that he does take, a lot of step backs, a lot of things off the dribble, it's really, really impressive that he managed to clear 40%. The game I picked out today is from last season, so the 2018-19 season. And the reason why I picked this game primarily is because it's a really great example of Markus Howard's strengths and weaknesses. He has a pretty below average first half, but then in the second half, he just erupts for 43 points, I believe. So there's a really stark contrast between the first and second half that I think you guys will enjoy. And also, I was personally at this game when I was a student at Marquette last year. And again, they were playing Buffalo in this game. And yeah, Markus Howard ends up with 47 points on, I think, 9 of 13 from 3 or something ridiculous. So I'm excited to get into this game with you guys. And hopefully you guys are excited to watch it. And with that, let's get right into it. So he's right there. He's going to be number 0 in the white. And again, doesn't really have a good first half. So this half, and he's out. He gets in foul trouble. He's out for extended periods of time. In the second half, I'm pretty sure he's in the entire half. And again, just the shots he makes in the second half are just stupid. And that's the main thing he's going to be bringing in into the NBA or wherever he ends up playing professionally. It's just that unbelievable shot making and his ability to get his shot off at any time he wants. And again, make it at a high clip given the difficulty. And so we have Buffalo taking the shot off and they immediately get the 3. So here's Howard with the ball. Again, a lot of things to not like about Howard. I'll say he's going to be a liability on defense because of his small frame. He's only 5'11", 180. He was the point guard at Marquette, but he didn't really show a good knack for finding open teammates. Tends to dribble himself into trouble a little bit. And again, that scorer's mentality, it does come at a price. Does have a tendency to kind of get tunnel vision, but when you're averaging around 28 a game, it's kind of easy to get tunnel vision. So yeah, you're looking at him as probably a guy who is going to come off your bench and try and just be a microwave in terms of his scoring ability. That's definitely going to be his role. I'll just skip this, and so I'm not really expecting him to be a starter. Right now, I have him outside of my top 60. I think I have him at 71st just because I don't think he offers a whole lot outside of his three-point shooting and scoring. And so if that's not going to translate, because he does tend to struggle against length, and the NBA is full of length, so if that doesn't translate, there's really not a skill in the NBA that he really offers. And so there are definitely concerns about him, but, that scoring ability is just super fun to watch. Really entertaining player. Again, he had multiple 50-point games throughout his college career, and in this game he drops 45, and so yeah, it's a fun game. But his fun game does come with the cost of maybe sacrificing a little bit of decision-making and just overall efficiency, I would say. So here he is. He's very comfortable getting that 3 off, as we saw right there, just getting it up with a hand in his face. And so those are the shots he's taking a whole lot. So his overall field goal percentages is around 42%, which isn't great if you look at it just look at it without context. But then you have to watch the games and watch the shots he's taking, and then it really starts to become clear. And so right there, he shoots the ball into the wedgie. I'll just let this run. And there's Theo John backing into post. Looks like we're going to get free throws here, so I'll skip these. But you can just tell how slight he looks out there. Again, under 6 foot. But the good thing is that going up against taller defenders, he would obviously draw the best perimeter defender for most of his opponents. And so he was still able to get a decent amount of shots off. And, he has a really quick trigger, and it's a really smooth overall stroke. Right there, that's a nice little pass. And again, he does occasionally show vision. I think he averaged around 3 assists per game this past season. But obviously, I think he averaged 3.3 assists, but then he averaged 3.4 turnovers per game. So, and again, you saw him just totally get wrecked on that screen. It's going to lead to an open 3 for Buffalo. And so he does show a little bit of playmaking ability, but it does come at the cost of a high turnover rate. And you can see a lot of teams are trying to like top lock him. They're trying to deny him even touching the ball. It takes him a little while to figure this Buffalo defense out, I will say. But in the second half, it's just stupid the shots he attempts and he just makes without even the slightest issue. So again, that's why I mentioned earlier. It really is the tale of two halves. It's very similar to what we saw with the Anthony Edwards game, which was my first video, where Edwards did not have a great first half, and in the second half he just erupted. That game was against Michigan State. Very similar situation with this one. So again, he's pretty quick off his feet as well. Again, it's just the lack of length that just kind of hurts his driving game. Just because defenders don't really need to be as quick as him to contest shots and recover, just because Howard doesn't really have the longest strides and isn't really the most effective in terms of getting to the rim in a short amount of time. He's pretty quick, but it just takes him a while to get loaded up around the rim. So that's something to be concerned about. And again, you're really pretty much drafting him for almost an Ish Smith type of role, I would say. Just a guy who can come off your bench. Obviously, Ish Smith has started plenty of games, but you're just, and right there you just saw like a stupid turnover that he just had. I think he has 6 turnovers in this game too. So we get, again, a lot of both sides here, so that's good. But Ish Smith has started his games, but really like he should be a bench player. And so that's what you're hoping Howard does, just come in, maybe create shots off the dribble. And, he is a decent late shot clock guy because you could get it to him. He does have a really nice step back 3. He's good at creating his own offense, but I'm just worried that I'm just worried that it won't translate to the highest level in the NBA, given all the length that we see in that league. But he's a guy that if he doesn't work out in the NBA, you'll hear about him 3 years down the road, and he'll be averaging like 33 points in a European league. So, this guy was just wired to score. And I'll skip this. Here we go. And so now what they're doing, Marquette, so they also ran Howard off the ball a fair amount. They did this this past season as well. So last year they had Joseph Chartouni, who was a grad transfer from Fordham. And so he would come in, run the point, and then Howard would be running off the ball, at least to start. There's a nice pass from Howard, and Chartouni just bricked the 3. But and then this past year they had Marquette had Kobe McEwen, who was a Utah State transfer, and he would run a lot on the ball as well. And Marquette and Howard would just kind of be off the ball a little bit. So, he could be a guy where you could maybe play him off the ball, assuming you have adequate length at the point guard position. Because I do think he's probably better coming off screens. And again, the shots he was taking in the college, pretty much all of them off the dribble, around screens. He had the ball in his hands before the shot happened, right? And with the NBA, I think if you just use him as a guy who can run off screens on the wing, pin downs, flares, things like that, and you get him to square up and he has open catch and shoot threes, I mean, the guy could be absolutely lethal because he does have that NBA range and he has a really, really nice shooting stroke. So there is something to be said with running him off the ball in the NBA, but I just don't really think his size lends itself to that a whole lot unless you have length with the other 4 positions on your team. So here's Howard again. Again, just kind of looking for some way to get that shot off. That could have been a hook. Looks like we got Chartouni on the foul. So we got Howard in the paint right here. Again, it's not going to offer much defensively. Just his frame just doesn't allow that. He hasn't been too horrible on defense thus far, though. Haven't really seen him on the ball a whole lot. Let's see what he does here. Ooh, he probably could have gone. And that's Sam Hauser with that shot right there. He's going to be playing at Virginia next season after he transferred. He's seen as a borderline draftable guy, I would say, for 2021. And then you can see Howard hasn't really gotten the ball a lot. And right there, you just see the charge. And again, tends to dribble himself into trouble, can get tunnel vision and just out of control at sometimes. And you saw it right there. And Howard, I believe, is out for a little bit right here. So I will skip ahead to 21-31 when he comes back in. And here we go. G back in right here. Yep. So here he is running off a, it's like Joey Hauser was setting a screen for him. And that's his role in the NBA. You can see him. Marquette does a little bit of this too, where he just kind of run him sideline to sideline, just looking for an opening. And again, teams are, at this point in his career, teams are totally wise to what Marcus Howard can do. So they're not going to really try and give him an inch. And here he is right here. And again, that's the type of shot he will get off, and he can make those, obviously. So I could see his career panning out, assuming, I could see something happening both ways here. One, he's asked to do too much in the NBA, and like he has to take all of his shots off the dribble and just kind of self-create, which I don't think will let him last in the league a whole lot. Or a team could get smart, run him off the ball, and just start using him in catch-and-shoot situations. And I do think with that, he could become one of the most prolific bench shooters in the league. Because he does have that natural touch, as I mentioned. And again, I think running him off the ball is a little bit better, at least offensively. It's just a matter of how you handle that on the other end. So yeah, it's certainly going to be an intriguing watch to see what teams try to do with Marcus Howard. Because I don't think he's a guy you really stick in the G League just because he is a senior. Although he's only 20 years old. He's a really young senior. But I can't see him being in the G League. I think he would get really nice offers overseas. And right there, I think, that could have been a charge. He got a little bit lucky right there. Does have a tendency to kind of like just bury his shoulder into the defenders and just, again, a lot of those borderline charge calls. And you can see him right now. He doesn't have any points yet. And so he's definitely struggling. And again, length really bothers him offensively. One of the best defenders of Marcus Howard that I remember seeing was Justin Simon, who played at St. John's 2 seasons ago, I want to say. And he just locked him down. St. John's, they would never let him have a good game. And so teams that could switch, teams that had length, just really, they could easily shut down Marcus Howard. So here he is, just laid on the switch. Did a nice job getting through that screen, actually. And just Ed Moore did a nice job as well, kind of covering for Howard. But again, he is quick. He can move his feet well. It's just the frame bothers me. That's a nice feed. So again, Howard did show flashes, but just like the rate of efficiency versus, the turnovers, just I'm not really sure you really want that as a lead initiator. I think he's, again, much better off the ball. So we got a turnover for Marquette. Never mind, let's say we got a foul. So it's a little bit of a flare action right there, that Howard run. And again, they're trying to get him backdoor or get something going. And there's Sam Hauser with the 3. Here he's running the ball. I do like that he plays with his head up a lot of the time, and right there, let's see if he hits this. He will. Again, simple, off of a ball screen. One dribble into his shot. Knockdown for Howard. Again, he's a guy who's always ready to shoot, regardless of where the ball is or, where he is in his dribble. And he can pull up on an instant and score. Haven't really seen a whole lot of his driving game, but I do think it's okay given his size. I think he has a pretty nice floater package, has a nice touch around the rim too. Just a matter of getting there in the NBA, and here he is with the ball. Right there, kind of lost his dribble and could have been a turnover. And it was a turnover right there. So here we go. Showtime for the Bulls. Remember, this is a Nate Oates coached Buffalo team, so this team was legit. They were a 6th seed in the NCAA tournament. They had C.J. Massenberg, I think Jeremy Harris, Dante Carruthers, Nick Perkins. So this Buffalo team was really solid. And I think, let's see, 26-56. Yeah, he's out for a long time right here. Again, I think he's just turning it over. I think he might have 2 fouls as well. So he's not in again until the last minute of the first half. So I'll get to that part of this game. Man, here we go. So yeah, huge jump right here. Again, so this is the final minute. And here's Howard. He's been out all this time. And again, remember, tale of 2 halves. So if you're looking for a big-time shooting performance, you can skip this video and just go to the second half because that's going to be the better half for him. So here he's on the ball. You can see he gets into a good stance. He looks pretty disciplined. He tries. So I think that's a good thing. It's just, again, the frame, his just slight size just really limits him. So we got the final 20 seconds here. I think he's going to get free throws. So he's free right now. He might have 40. I think he has 40 in the second half, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, there he is. So he got fouled again. Can't really finish over that length, though. But he did do a nice job just getting the foul and getting to the line. So we'll watch him shoot free throws, and he shoots these free throws, and then he's out. So and remember, he was a close to a 90% free throw guy, too, for most of his time at Marquette. This season, he took a little bit of a step back, and he still managed to knock down 84%. We saw right there, just picture-perfect form. I mean, this Marquette team was really good at shooting free throws. I think they had 3 82-plus guys. They had Marcus Howard, they had Sam Hauser and Joey Hauser, who were all really phenomenal free throw shooters. And Howard's going to knock both of those down. So he finishes the first half with 5 points. So remember that. He finishes 5 points, and he's going to get 40 in the second half. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the second half of this game because it'll be a really fun watch, I promise you. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the new subscribers, by the way. I think we jumped up like 18 in the last 36 hours, so that's awesome. So thank you guys for that. And, yeah, we will be back with the second half. Make sure to check out my Twitter for any updates relating to the channel. We got the full schedule of film breakdowns on there as well. So that's at Bobby Douglas 21, and I'll put it below as well. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you for the second half. And, yeah.